He has turned $1,500 to $120,000 in one single month.
I typed into YouTube one day, day trading, and it's pops up, and here's this video of, it's like 17-year-old guy from Dunkin Donuts to, and I just remember this video popping up. I'm going to turn one of these $100 bills into $1 million. And I was like, yo, what? What's this guy on? It's almost like a mirror back to yourself, right? Like your fear, your greed, your emotions, your psychology, your anxiety, things like that. I love personal development.
That is going through a tough time.
Man, just believe in yourself, find a passion, find something that sparks your soul, and just grind on it. Don't worry about, take it one day at a time. It's all you can do is one day at a time. And like I say, find something that all of a sudden sparks your soul and you become passionate about, and just attack it. Just learn it, whatever it might be, whether it's trading, whether it's business, whatever it might be. If you have something that you can put your focus and attention to and build an empire, do that.
Today we are with the man, the myth, the legend, Mike. I don't think you guys understand who this guy is, how he came about his journey, and what he has accomplished. Mike is about to explain to you one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life when it comes to trading. He has turned $1,500 to $120,000 in one single month. But it's not about how he did it in one single month, because you're like, all right, fine, an experienced trader can do that. Mike started trading 6 months ago, and he had not that much to his name, little less knowledge, even that. And how he got these $1,500 is probably the craziest story ever. So without any further ado, we have the man, Mike, here. What's up, Mike?
First things first, appreciate you for having me. Absolutely. This whole experience has been just phenomenal. So first things first, I come from a 9-to-5 background. I'm a heavy-duty mechanic from Alberta, Canada.
Far from home.
Yeah, and I live in a small rural community. About, the closest big major city is Calgary, and it's like an hour and a half away drive. So, and I always knew that I wanted more for life, and I didn't think that a 9-to-5 was it. I was like, this ain't it. Like, why am I giving 200 hours a month for a paycheck to somebody else? And I always knew that I could do something, and I didn't, at the time, I didn't know what it was. But I always, my mom would always say, you have a taste for finer things. Mm-hmm. And I always was like, I got to figure out how to get that. And
did your family know that you trade now?
Yes. Yeah.
What do they think of it?
So my mom actually comes from a banking background. So she was a bank manager for years, and she at the start, like, she was very intrigued because, like, I would talk about things, and I was very, like, open about with family, like specifically my parents, like, about what I was doing. And I kept it pretty on the down low with, as far as posting anything about it, because I thought to myself, I needed to have results before I was going to, like, I didn't want, because as I'm sure as like, sometimes with trading there comes like a sort of some people see it as like, well, it's gambling,
of course,
well, it's and I just didn't want to deal with that. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put my head down, I'm gonna figure it out and make it work. But for me, finding trading actually came from a close friend. I have this friend, Jaden, who probably 2 years prior to me even considering starting trading, we used to talk about it. And, oh, bro, I got to get back to, I got to get this down. Like, I got to get profitable, because that's the way out. That's the way to the freedom. And I used to look at him and I was like, what? Trading? What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you on? Like, and at the time, I was actually trying to chase another dream of mine of being a pro MMA fighter. And I wanted to, a dream of mine was always to fight in the UFC. And so at the time, I was kind of chasing that, along with going through some own other personal struggles that I feel as a man, you have that one thing that rips your soul out.
Mm-hmm.
And when that shreds your soul and you got to re-put back the pieces together, it builds you to a person that, you know, can handle such certain things and certain emotions and certain situations, such as being involved in the markets and being able to disciplining patience and control, and still working on that, but there's parts of it.
No, definitely. You know, we've been together all day, and there's a lot that you've kind of told me, and I've been like, wow, you know, I would never expect for somebody to do what you did and have the results that you had, right? So let's take it a few steps back. So how long have you been trading for, like as of right now, from the moment you learned about trading till today?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
And you've turned $1,500 to $120K in 6 months of learning. So you bust the myth of saying that you need at least 1 to 2 years of trading before you become profitable.
Correct.
You bust set and forget works then.
So if we take it back, I had no previous trading experience prior to finding your course. I never bought any other courses. I never, had other influence. Basically, I found when I I typed into YouTube one day, day trading, and it's pops up, and here's this video of, it's like 17-year-old guy from Dunkin Donuts to, and I just remember this video popping up. I'm going to turn one of these $100 bills into $1 million. And I was like, yo, what? What's this guy on? Like, and that was the start of that journey. And I followed the videos that you have on YouTube for quite a bit, for probably, I would say, maybe 2 weeks. And I was like, there's more to this, right? Like, I need more. And I was like, I got to learn the full strategy. And that's when I purchased your course, and I crushed that course out in 1 weekend.
1 weekend?
1 weekend.
Damn.
And I've never watched the videos again.
Wow.
I took notes of key points, key things that were important to understand, and I never felt a need for me to go back, because now I have the jot notes, and I just learn to understand and comprehend the markets and look for those patterns and figure out, and kind of almost like sometimes, like you always sometimes will talk about being in sync with the market. And December is when I felt that. Like, that was my first month where I felt that, being in sync with the market, where like it felt like there was nothing I could do that
would go wrong.
Like,
you almost feel like invincible.
Like I could just go buy or sell, and it would go right.
Yeah.
Like
Well, so that feeling, obviously, it takes a long time for that to happen, for you to be able to feel this in sync with the market. And the fact that you got it very early on, that is a huge blessing. And now you've pretty much seen the fruits of, you've seen what's the saying? The fruits of the labor, right? Well, you've seen it very fast. You planted the seed, and next week you got the fruit. That's usually not how it works. And that's almost a double-edged sword, right? Because you can see that it's real right off the bat, which is huge. A lot of traders, they're skeptical, and they don't believe that it's real at the beginning, because they're like, well, am I ever going to get a payout? Am I going to ever be able to make money? You've busted that myth right off the bat, which is huge, because there's potential and money in the market. But the other edge of the sword is that now, since you made that money so fast, you almost feel like you can do it again and even faster with only seeing one cycle of the market, because the market moves in cycles. So same way how you just say December clicked with you, maybe January doesn't click with you, or February doesn't click with you. You don't have that data because you haven't traded those months. So that's the other side of the sword, which can kind of, poke you, not as deep, but it would definitely poke you like, well, now this doesn't feel right because I've just been winning. So, I want to give you a tip. I haven't given it to you throughout the whole entire day because, I've been wanting to save it here for the podcast. Absolutely. By the way, we did a whole day in the life together. We went out in the Can-Am. We had, a great time. You guys want to see that video? Just click the link in the description below. The video is there. But what I want to recommend to you, bro, is you've seen success very fast in a niche that is very difficult, and you've seen a lot amount of money very fast. So you've made 6 figures in pretty much 3 months, which is huge. Congratulations. But I want you to approach this 2024 almost as if you didn't make that, because you need to reset your mindset that now it's like, all right, cool. The opportunity is still there, but I still need to learn more. But you need to learn more about you. You need to learn more about Mike as a person when it comes to the markets. You already got the trading down pack. You got to apply the set and forget strategy. That's all you got to apply to make money. Clearly it works, right? Because when you were trading at the beginning, you were only just using the strategy. Mike really wasn't doing anything other than applying the strategy. But when you start taking your first losses, that's when Mike's feelings start coming in. And that's where the strategy maybe starts toning down, and then your personality is where then it starts kicking in and it starts affecting things. So reset and get that rebalance where you just simply execute the plan without even thinking of Mike's emotions. So that's my biggest take that I can take on from everything you've told me today, and my biggest suggestion that I can give to you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it 100% because it's like, honestly, I had the big month of December, and then I had a couple trades in just January that slapped me, and I was like, yeah, okay. Here, like, and I knew it was going to happen. Like, I wasn't, I wasn't blind to it, because I knew that there was, you have a big month like that, and then there's going to come a time, like, it's the inevitable. And, but no, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. I appreciate that.
No, trust me, just reset, and it's only going to be better for you. You made money already, bro, which is fire. Like, if I would have made 6 figures my first 6 months of trading, who knows what the fuck would happen? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So taking it a couple steps back, right? I mean, you don't have to disclose everything you want. You say you've gone through some struggles in your personal life, which have, built you up. By the way, for those of you guys that don't know, Mike can fuck everybody up in this room right now. As calm as you see him right now, this guy's a monster. I'm scared of this guy right now. You know what I'm saying? This guy asked me for my watch. I'll give it to him. No questions asked. No, but on a serious note, you can see how this guy is very calm. But he says that he's gone through, you've gone through something in your life. If you want, you can disclose it. You don't have to. We can move on from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't get into details, but, basically it's just like you go as a man, whether it be a loss, we'll say, in life, and something that, maybe breaks your heart. And when you go through that and you come out the other side, and I think having to look inside and find inner peace again is what really then brings it whole full circle. And finding trading and the way it's almost like a mirror back to yourself, right? Like your fear, your greed, your emotions, your psychology, your anxiety, things like that. And I love personal development. Like, I'm a huge personal development guy, and just, it's like the gym for my brain and for my emotions and for everything. And just being able to, piece the puzzle back together and build this, like, super Mike. And I think almost, I don't wish anybody to go through tough times, but tough times build strong men.
What do you recommend to somebody that is going through a tough time?
Man, just believe in yourself, find a passion, find something that sparks your soul, and just grind on it. Don't worry about, take it one day at a time. It's all you can do is one day at a time. And like I say, find something that all of a sudden sparks your soul and you become passionate about, and just attack it. Just learn it, whatever it might be. Whether it's trading, whether it's business, whatever it might be. If you have something that you can put your focus and attention to and build an empire, do that. Do that. And, whether it's even in trading where, you maybe haven't had success yet and that's like a struggle and things like that. And you're like, well, maybe it's like, just trust the process. Trust the process.
So even when you're going through hard, it's just part of the process.
Yeah, yeah. I always just was like, this is part of the process.
So when you were going through your process of turning the $1,500 to the 100K, how was that? Like, well, how did you get those 15? Yeah. How did you get those $1,500?
So,
and how did you buy the course? Tell them how you bought the course too. How you did everything.
So, I remember one day sitting at the counter and I had like your whole course pulled up. I'm putting my card information in. I'm sitting there and I had some buddies that had bought courses that were crap. And I'm like, oh man, like I hope this one's good. Like I hope this is good. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Click, buy. And so, and then, we fast forward to, it was the end of November. And I actually went out for a beer and a bite with one of my coworkers. And I had known to have in the past some good luck with VLTs or slot machines. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I threw $20 in the machine and I play one machine. I win 900. I'm like, okay, cool. Cash it out. I take my 20. I go to the next machine, put it in. I take out 1,200.
Shit.
I'm like, damn, I just won $2,000. And at this point, you had actually just announced the 11/11 challenge. And I was like, I already knew. I was like, that money, I was like, 1,500 is going into the trading account. And that's what I did. And I put $1,500 in the trading account. I was like, I'm just going to scale this. I'm going to do, like, the blueprint is there. I'm like, I've watched back your YouTube videos of the 100 to 1 mil challenge. And I watched it back and watched, like, the details of, like, how much you were risking, how much, like, and I was like, literally the roadmap to do this is here.
It's right in front of you.
Yeah. And I was like, this is possible. I can do this. And probably about 2 months prior to that, I had told 3 friends. I was like, by Christmas, trading's going to change my life. And they all just kind of, like, okay, like, go get it, bro. Like, but like, I didn't feel the, like, it was like, all right, cool.
Say good luck, yeah.
Yeah. And then, you fast forward to, I take the account from 1,500 to 3,300, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then we go from 3,300 to 4,500. I'm like, all right, we're making progress. And then 1 week, I take a sell on Euro USD, and I take the account from 4,500 to 11. And in the same week, I take a buy on AUD JPY.
We took the same buy.
And and I take that account from 11 to 20. And at this point, I'm sitting there going, yo, I got $20,000 in a trading account now. Like, for me, I'm like, damn, like, right? And I just continued to just stay the plan, stay the course. And I ended up having, my biggest day was 25K on AUD CAD. And I was actually out for wings with one of my best friends, took him out for wings, and we're sitting there. And I, like, flipped my phone as the positions are going green to TP. And I'm just like, and he's like, did you just make 25K? I'm like, yep. Yeah, I did. Like,
wings are on me.
yeah, absolutely. Right. And it was just surreal. Like, I'm going to work and I'm making more money on my way to work than I make all month in 2 months. And I'm just like, and some of my coworkers are even looking at me like, why are you still here, bro? And I'm like, because it's only 1 month.
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, yes, it's an incredible achievement. And, I'm proud to say that, I did that. But it's only 1 month. Now it's, how can I, like you said, reset and move forward and keep attacking it in a sense of a balanced approach.
Exactly. And you want to know what, brother? The fact that you have that approach and the fact that you realize that you taking it month by month, that it shows that you're ready to do this for the long run. A lot of traders, they would have the results that you have in 1 month and they'll tell everybody to go fuck themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then comes January and then they enter a losing streak and then they're rethinking their whole life. And now they're in a point of pressure because now they almost have to keep this lifestyle going. They have to keep these amount of profits going because they set a standard too high, too fast. There's nothing wrong with setting a standard, but you have to know when is the right time. You can't do it too fast because then you're just putting too much stress on yourself. And then if you set it too slow, then you obviously won't grow. But I rather take the conservative route and then you slowly scale when you're supposed to. And I feel like you're doing that perfectly. And since you're just getting started, bro, you have a interesting journey ahead of you, my bro. Trust me. So you've obviously taken $1,500 to $100K. Like, what do you do with that money when you make that in 1 month? Like, so what do you do with that money when you make it in 1 month? Like, I see you got LV. This guy went today and he's like, yo, I got some LV, got the shoes. He's like, what else do you do?
So that's LV for me is another full circle moment because I used to go to Vegas quite often, and there was times where I'd be walking through. There's the mall right between the Cosmopolitan, and there's the 2-story LV store, and I remember vividly walking in there and like taking a look around, and I'm like, I can't afford anything in here, and I walked out, but I knew I was like one day, and then I'd always walk by, the high end, whether it's Rolex, Hublot, and I was like, one day. I've always just been like, one day. And so for me, it was like, okay, within reason, I'm going to give myself a little taste of some finer things because then it's going to be like, okay, well, I want more of that. So now to get that, I have to continue to trust the process and keep doing what I have been doing. And so there's that part of things where I have enjoyed and spoiled myself a little bit, but also the big one was giving back to my family. And this Christmas, I was able to gift my mom her first LV wallet, which is an experience. Even though it's a material thing, it's an experience to be able to give back to the woman who gives birth to you and raises you. And I'm actually in the future, near future, me and my dad are going on a guy's trip. So again, one of those father-son moments, as well as, being able to take my brother and my nephew to a hockey game and, have seats right, glass front and just enjoy the experiences of being able to, give back to family that was definitely there for me when I was down. And that was huge for me. Like, that was number one.
So you say that the profits that you've made right now, you just mainly use to kind of just give back and just to pretty much almost put it into a moment, the money, and almost into the experience when you give back.
Yeah, and as well as, like, obviously, I, put some cushion away, too.
Yeah, of
because,
course.
but I do have a rock solid good 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Right. So, there's still that paycheck always coming in. So now it's like, okay, now I'm like, all right, to scale into that and just, continue the process. Just enjoy the
What
journey.
would be your goal for 2024? Don't fucking punch you in the face right now. Thought about that too long, bro. I can ask you another question if you want.
No. So I made a goal with myself when I turned 28 that by 30, I was like, I can make a mill.
Okay.
And I honestly think by 29, I can do it.
Solid.
I'm like, I think by 29, if I trust the process, stick to my plan, and just set and forget, I can do it.
Okay. That's a solid goal, bro. And if you put it into perspective, you started off with $1,500.
Yep.
And then you took it to $100K.
Yeah.
You know, if you would have started off with 10K, you would have been at the mill. Same percentage wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, dude, you're not that far fetched, bro.
Absolutely.
Like your goal is not unrealistic. It might seem something big and unobtainable because it's 7 figures.
Mhm.
Wow, whatever. But when you base it off a percentage and what you did, you technically already did it, bro.
Yeah.
You already did it. You just got to do it again.
Yeah, I used to. I remember actually when I first started flipping the account, I was like actually running the numbers. I was like, I'm only this many account flips away from $1 million, or like, you know, right? And so yeah, when you play with the percentages, it's
Well, trading is a percentage game. It's not a dollars game. If you
Absolutely.
base it off a dollars game, you have, you know, what I like to call a short vision, because you're just looking at the money.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to be looking at the money. You just look at the percentage.
Absolutely.
The same percentage you make on a 10K account, you can make on a 100K account.
Mhm.
And whatever you make on a 100K account shouldn't be any different from a 10K account. It's the same trade. The only thing that changes is percentage. So I think your $1 million goal is more than reasonable, brother. I think you can do that easily. You just have to work on Mike. You get me? Mike has to be ready to now not have a flip maybe this month or next month, or be ready to have a couple losses, because, you know, we're not invincible, and neither is the set and forget strategy. You know, I'm not here going to say, yeah, it's 100% win rate. No, not at all. Like, and I'm more than confident that it is profitable, but it's not invincible. You're going to take losses. But when you take wins, the wins are going to outweigh the losses, kind of how Ricky was just saying. He took 13 losses in a row. But then when he applied the strategy, 3 wins made back those 13 losses. So it's about using the strategy and how it's obviously going to work. What would you say would be one of the most memorable moments that you had, other than the $25,000 day, which was your biggest day?
I honestly, like, one of the most memorable moments was like when I had hit the 6 figures, and then actually when you had seen it in the Discord and like your Instagram stories, you were like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And I was like, I remember I was actually at home, and I had just crawled into bed, and all of a sudden my phone just starts blowing up, and I'm like, what is going on right now? And I like reach over, grab my phone, and all my friends, like, I got a bunch of friends that follow you, and they're like, "Yo, like, you're on Alex's story, like, that's you, bro." Like, and I was like, what? Like, you know,
I was more excited than I think you were, bro.
yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
was like, yo, like, and like, just, it was just cool because it was like, you know, when you trust in the process, and you know, I never tried your strategy for 2 months and then was like, oh, well, okay, fuck it, I'm going to go try this over here, right? I truly was like, this is the strategy. I've watched it time and time again. When you document everything and you show everything as transparent as possible, and I watch it play out.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, it's there. It's all there.
Mhm.
So then to see, like, in a way, just like, you know, that kind of just like popped off, and I was like, that's cool. Like, that was cool. And I was like, that just was like a big, like, I appreciate, like, it was just like, you know,
Appreciating the moment.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like appreciating like the recognition that
Yeah.
it was coming up. Trust me, I was more in shock that you did that, because obviously a lot of people were skeptical about my flip, you know, 100 to 300K. Obviously, I took longer in my process. You did it way faster than I did. But it's almost like, hey, I'm not the only guy that just did it. This guy just did it. You know what I mean? Like, call this guy, you know, bad trader too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, call this guy. And then obviously, then another guy does it. So it's proven that obviously the flips is a high risk of trading.
Yes.
But it's a way of trading. Same way how scalping is a high risk of trading and martingale is a high risk of trading. So is flips, but I can guarantee you we know exactly what we're doing and we accept it and it works. Now, do we blow accounts? For sure.
Yep.
But I can guarantee when we hit, we hit.
Yeah,
We hit.
we do. Yep.
We hit.
Yep.
What would you say would be one of the biggest tips that you can give to Mike out there if, you know, he were to be seeing this at the beginning of his journey?
I don't want to sound cliche in this, and I'll expand, but trusting in the process and the ability that comes along with it, and believing in yourself 100%. Just because it might not be working or you might not see the results right now, just believing in yourself, because you're only, realistically, you could have like 2 weeks and you have a breakthrough, and it's like, boom. And just all of a sudden just honing in on the strategy and focusing on that. Like, if I could say one thing, is just like, learn that strategy inside out, sit there, look to the left, look at the charts, look at history, because history repeats itself. And as we just saw, that you just broke down charts a few minutes ago with Sunday Swings with all of your students, and like, you just go, oh, look, oh, hey, we took this trade, right? And it's like, it's there, right? Just look to the left, look for patterns, and, just hone in on the strategy.
I just set and forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see you come back on a part 2 where you turn your 100K into $1 million, potentially, or maybe $2 million, who knows? But what I would really want for you to do, man, because I've seen a lot of traders that do this. They'll have a hot run, and then something will happen, and then they'll mess up. You're a very stoic person, not because you get assassinated all of us right now, but because obviously you understand that you're at peace with yourself. You're at peace with your mindset. But this trading shit can piss you the fuck off, man. Like, this shit can want to make you do some shit. This guy's a UFC fighter, so this guy, this shit. So I personally would want for you to maybe just lower a little bit of the risk when it comes to taking the trades now. Obviously, January, February are supposedly the best months of trading, but you don't know that yet, because for me, January, I didn't take any trades, and that's my best month.
Yep.
You had a bad month.
Yep.
Or actually, I think did you have a bad month or a good month?
January was good.
It wasn't a good month. So just have the approach that this shit's going to be here forever, and have the mindset that you're going to make that mill, bro. Now, whether you make that mill in all of 2024 or whether you make it in just December again, whether you just turn 100K to $1 million in just December alone, you're going to make it. Yeah. But now, when are you going to make it? Only you are going to know that, because you're going to time it at the right time. So that's the biggest tip that I can get to you right now.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
So this is Mike, the assassin, the UFC assassin. He turned $1,500 to 120,000. If you guys want to see more of like the day vlog that we did, the link will be in the description below. If you guys have any questions, just drop a comment below. And Mike, appreciate you coming.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you for everything.
We're going to keep our social distance. That was a little too hard for me. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys.